get the other chair, let Misha sit here in the middle.
Okay.
So she won't get, we won't have to stop.
So she'll be comfortable.
Yeah, so she'll be comfortable because you. Good afternoon. This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing. But it's a thing we want you to tune in every Saturday afternoon. We are here doing the same thing we've been trying to do ever since we started the show. Make sense out of a sensitive situation called the plight of veterans in the USA. And the USA with the plight of veterans. I'm here with my brother in Christ and my partner in crime. Tony, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good.
Listen, Tony, what you think about Monday, man? I'm gonna let you go with that. What you think about? We got something happening Monday that I think is going to kind of speed up the process.
Yes, not only speed up the process, but we get to actually meet the builder. Which is extremely important because we need to share. We need to know what he's going to do and how he's going to do it,
and get what we want done.
Right. Yeah. We got to let him know some of the things that he may not know. Mm-hmm. Of course, that wasn't in the RPO.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If it wasn't in there, then we're going to let him know what we're doing.
And the idea that we got to sell it to somebody that's brand new.
Yeah.
And the commissioner, we really don't have to sell it because it's already been bought.
Yeah. Bought and paid for.
Bought and paid for. That's the good part about where we're at with the memorial right now. We want everybody to know that the city of Atlanta, we're going to say it loud because we are proud of our hometown doing what they need to do to show love for veterans and military service. Yeah. I think about that. I watched the mayor reaching out in the community with the kids and playing basketball, trying to get them out of trouble. Yeah. And I think about our generation when, we were coming into young manhood like that, Tony. We didn't have the crime situation in our community, the violent situation in our community, where every morning, every day I wake up in my hometown, there are at least two mothers crying.
Right. Mm-hmm.
One is crying because their child has been murdered, and the other is crying because their child is being assaulted by the police. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, we done built a platform that we can address this issue. Mm-hmm. Probably like nobody else can address it, Tony, because see, we are not nonviolent. We are gun advocates. We're military, so we know what guns do.
Yes.
And we want people to have their guns, but we want them to be responsible for having.
Exactly.
But now I got a problem with the war weapons in the community. Now that got to go.
Yes.
I mean, there ain't no tolerance in my thinking, and I think in most veterans thinking, and even the police officers thinking.
Yeah.
That they got to be the one that's go out there every day to face these automatic weapons. Mm-hmm. And the only answer that some of these politicians have got will just give them more guns.
Yeah.
Well, more guns have caused more violence, and I was hoping number 45 would have had a Paul experience when.
Yes.
I was hoping, Tony, he would.
Is that the same thing? One of those come to Jesus moments?
Yes, I thought. I listen, I was praying that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? Every time I look at the film, I feel like it's been staged. I don't know why, but when he first hit his ear, there wasn't no blood on it. When he went down and came up, his hand was full of blood.
Yeah.
And you know what somebody said? His son. It required no stitches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Bullet wounds require stitches.
Yeah.
I've been around enough bullet wounds to know that you get hit with. I got hit with shrapnel, Tony. I didn't get hit with no bullet in Vietnam. I got hit with shrapnel, and it requires stitches. Yeah. I got stitches in my head.
Yeah.
Now, doctor raised a question. One of the doctors raised a question. Said, now, if he was hit with a bullet that close to his head, he gonna have severe PTSD and maybe TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, yes.
I got TBI, traumatic brain injury, because I was hit in the head. Mm-hmm. And I got PTSD because I was traumatized. Listen, we got to open up the conversation where it need to be, because see, We got too many Hollywood actors in politics nowadays.
Yeah, that is true.
We got just too many actors. We need community servants in politics, not demagogues, billionaire autocrats.
Right.
And you know what I've seen in this mega movement that disturbs me so much. You know, Tony, we coming out of segregation, so we know what racism is, right?
Exactly.
And we know that racism can be overcome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been in the military with young men that we can say they're brothers forever. We formed them kind of bonds with them.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I noticed, and Malcolm kind of pointed this out. You know, the billionaires are the cause of all of the racism that we have, because it is a tool that they use to control and separate people in the community. I can remember, Tony, when we was, I got one of the first good jobs that came out of the 60s, right? I was promoted to the 12th grade, and the railroad came to Booker T. Washington High School and hired a whole bunch of us.
Yes.
Man, I had a better job than my dad. Well, I better not say that. My daddy was self-employed. I say I had a better job than my mama, you know.
Right.
But all of us got drafted, though, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of us that went to the railroad, went to General Motors, went to Ford, went to these good-paying jobs.
Southern Bell.
Yeah. But then you know what I heard lately that I heard back then, they was telling the poor white workers that the blacks was coming at their jobs.
Really?
You hear me now?
Yes.
And now they saying that the Mexicans are coming at black jobs. Ain't no such. I ain't seen no black job. I mean, a black job. Now.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, bro. This is 2024. And they using the same tactics that we grew up watching.
Yes, yes.
I'm saying, Lord have mercy.
Yep.
Tony, you were finna say something.
Yeah, the same, when you said the same tactics, those tactics were done in the 60s and 70s when the community started to desegregate. Then all of a sudden we're taking white jobs.
Yeah.
You know, there were no white jobs. There were jobs. The great thing about it, we were qualified to do those jobs.
And Tony, what these people don't think about now, every job expands the economy.
Yes.
See, it expands the economy, and it's supposed to make better life for the whole community, right? But what they did, this 2%ers, they learned how to manipulate it where they get all the money, we did all the work. And it's the same thing now. They talk, and we need to shut up. We need to tell him to shut up when he's talking about it. We got more jobs created in this country right now than we got people to take the jobs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everybody is hiring somebody. So ain't no way, ain't no black job, ain't no white job, ain't no Spanish job. It's just jobs that need to be filled.
Yeah.
You know, they need to be filled. Because the economy has expanded to the point that we don't have enough workers in the industry right now.
Yes.
And they are talking, and I'm gonna tell you the hypocrites. They should have called that the den of hypocrites when they got all these Republicans there together. Because they you know what? I bet you go up in there, because most of them was businessmen, and I bet you half of them folks up in there, if not all of them, done refused to hire an ex-offender.
Yeah. Oh boy, you hit the nail on the head right there.
I'm an ex-offender, so I know how they treated me.
Yes.
I know how they treated me when I came out.
Exactly.
I couldn't get a job, man.
Nowhere. Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. Some of them won't even rent.
Right.
To an ex-offender.
Right.
We need to school these people, man. That listen at these folks talk. They ain't talking with good sense. They ain't making no sense, because first of all, we need every worker that come through that border. Right? Every worker. If they had an orderly process going on there, we could get the economy filled, and it would expand more than we could even spend the money with.
Right. That's right. You know, the thing about that, those workers that are across, they're coming with skills. They aren't coming here without any skills.
Without any skills.
It's one of those things. If you look around on most jobs, some of them are not the major factories, but those things that are going on in the community, those are Hispanic people or people from other countries, and they come in and they do a heck of a job.
They do a heck of a job, man.
I'm a living witness. When I bought my home and everything, when I retired, I decided to expand it and everything, do some improvements because it was built in 1950. My neighbor was an Hispanic from Costa Rica, and he said, I know some guys that can do this work for you a lot cheaper. The work was, they did a fantastic job. I mean, everything. Roof, siding, windows, or even a deck.
Yeah.
You know, and excellent work.
Yeah.
You know, their work was so good, they passed East Point's inspection. Because the inspector had to come back and come by and inspect every stage of the development. And never once they had to go back and correct something that they did. You know, so, you know, that we shouldn't be looking at them as immigrants coming to take our job. No, they're coming with the skills needed to do the job.
To help grow this economy.
Yes.
See, and we got to stop letting people lie to us.
Yeah.
And we act like we don't know what's alive.
Really.
You know? we sitting up there going along to get a look. Just start saying right now, bro, you had some illegals working for you when you first ran for president.
Exactly.
You know, and I bet you all them billionaires that you got trying to buy this election right now got some illegals working for them. Right now.
Not just that. The man is running for president.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at the people that he hired and tried to pay them minimum or less wages. Or when he hired them, if he didn't want to, he would not pay them.
Not even pay them.
He has an ugly history with not just Hispanic, but with workers from the United States.
And with businesses from the United States that he done had did work in his property and wouldn't pay them.
Yes.
So, but you know what? Hollywood can make you forget about a lot of stuff, man, because this man is smoother than glass. You know, I mean, really, I get caught up in and just want to watch him because he's such a performer.
Yes.
You know, I be saying, when people are not going to be able to see through this act that he's putting on.
Yep.
And he's good with it. I mean, he's absolutely good with what he does.
Yes.
But he is evil incarnated.
Yes.
You know, anytime you got somebody that will take advantage of a system where he actually wanted to have some young black men executed because they was charged with a crime.
Yeah.
That they was eventually declared
innocent. Yes.
But he was willing to put up money for this system. Now he's saying the system is rigged against him. Who would stop to rig the system against him after functioning like this for 240 some years?
Yeah.
You know, he know how to play the victim role.
Yes, he's got that down pat. Yes,
he's the greatest victim actor I've seen. I've seen. I like movies now. I like Hollywood myself because you know it's good pastime.
Yes,
but now this ain't no pastime we dealing with right now because see what has happened. He has had a sense of power. He's had a sense of power. And by him having a sense of power and have always been a privilege.
Yes.
He's always been privileged. So the people that's following him have always followed the privilege. They followed the privilege or they are part of the privilege. But most of these are poor white working people that, you know, they got their racist thing because that's what they lean toward. And when it's developed like this man is able to develop, well, he is their Christ figure. He's their savior. Because they got a victim mentality because billionaires gave them a victim mentality when we start integrating the economy. Now they see us as a threat to the billionaire class So automatically, we're a threat to them.
Yeah.
And they use racism as their conduit.
Yeah.
You know, to get them to thinking, and they just that convention was a pure racist. You know, when he was saying he wanted to be president of all America, he didn't say all Americans. If you go back and listen to what he said, I want to be president not of half America, but all America. You know, he wasn't talking about Americans like people. He was talking about the country.
Yes.
He was talking about the country like this is his business now.
Yep.
And he ran it like it was his business when he was president. Now he has, with Mitch McConnell's anointing, who was trying to stack the coats before Donald Trump recognized Mitch McConnell, what Mitch was doing. So when Mitch saw him, well, Mitch said, well, it's a good boy. Come do it to help me do what I want to do, because he got the influence of the populace. You know, he's the star. So Mitch messed around and talked about him for a minute, but because he could give Mitch what he wanted, they embraced him. Not just him, a whole bunch of those people that was what we thought was traditional Republicans, but was, you know, wolves in sheep clothing. They embraced him, and now all these Nazis and neo-Nazis and racists just came up out of the woodwork and embraced him. So that's who he's going to put to work in his administration. This boy that came out of jail, right out of jail, to the microphone doing the... I'm saying... I mean, what hypocrites are we dealing with, man? I mean, they so bold with their hypocrisy that nobody is talking about it. Veterans talk. This is veterans talk. It ain't nothing but a thing, but we are veterans talking to veterans and the community about all things veterans and the community. What we are up against is the message, the narrative that's being pushed on our people right now, because we see the Democrats and the weaklings of this thing. We see the Democrats, they done got really messy. I want to say that. They done got really messy because they trying to get Joe to step aside and Pamela too.
Right.
Now that ain't the democracy that we that they supposed to be talking about, right? They say they're gonna save the democracy. How can you save the democracy with hypocrisy? You know, I'm trying to figure out what the you know, I mean, you think you didn't seen it all, and then you look around here, you got another clown show. I mean, the Democrats with a clown show, man. Where, I mean, now if Biden is ever become disabled, unable to perform as president, he got a vice president.
Exactly. That's democracy.
That's democracy. He got a vice president right now. That's who steps up to be the president. If he steps out of the race now, that's who steps up to the top of the ticket. You got hypocrites. Hypocrites. They done showed their face. So this is what discouraged so many young people. They say all these people are alike.
They're all the same.
They're all the same. Ain't none of them no good. So they Wild West. That's why all of them walking around with a gun in their pocket. Because they don't have any respect for the government, because the government ain't got no respect for righteousness, for truth. I thought the Democrats were going to hold strong and we're going to sweep. We're going to have a sweep. They start, how come they didn't do this?
They high on them bonds.
Why they didn't do this when he was running during the primaries? That's the democracy. He ran during the primaries. People voted for him. They voted for Kamala. She his vice president. She his vice. If he can't do it. That's the democracy. She steps up. Shouldn't be no question or discussion about that. But you got Democrats. Wolves in sheep clothing. Wolves in sheep clothing. So now they done disturbed the enthusiasm that the Biden campaign and the other peoples in our community had stirred up with young people to vote.
Yeah.
Now they looking at they looking for mess. They don't see nothing but mess.
Yes.
They don't see nothing but mess. So they don't feel like they got no choices. So I ain't going to vote.
Really?
I ain't gonna vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's a deterrent.
Yeah, like they don't make no difference because whoever get there, it's a mess.
They just have on the same team.
You know. So what we got to do, and now I'm trying to get veterans to understand this. We need that PAC Act expansion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need it now. The VA actually was the culprit that knocked it down this time. See, Biden had proposed to expand the PAC Act where it would include all of these contaminated military bases in this country. You know, don't recognize the fact that they got over 200 contaminated military bases where our children are serving today, getting sick when they get out and dying young.
Yep.
He was ready to recognize that. The VA, which was punked out by Trump administration.
Yep. Yep.
It was punked out by Trump administration when he talking about we weren't gonna stand in line no more. We didn't get to do this here. He was privatizing the VA. Yeah. He privatized it, made it a part of his buddy's business. Mm-hmm. And right now, every time a claim is filed, you got to go to get an exam, even if you don't need no exam. You don't need no exam. That's a part of the process now. And if you're late, they cancel your exam and deny your claim. So you got to go right back into the circle of filing and filing. And he got this community care provision where a VA ain't able to provide the care that you need within a certain time period. They can give you a community ticket. You know, they pay for a doctor outside the VA for you to get the care. Whew. I have lost my place in the VA with that mess. Mm-hmm. Me, I'm 100% service connected, been 100% service connected since 2002. I don't have a primary that I can go to right now.
Really?
At Fort Mass-Pearson, which is not that far from my house, they said they ain't got no room for me. they ain't got no room for me. They said, well, you come to Acadia. That's way outside of Decatur. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's literally 30 miles from my house when they got a
facility
right up the street.
Yeah.
What we got to do is win, as Trump would like to say, with up and down the Democratic ticket, up and down the presidency, the vice president, the House, and the Senate. So the first thing they need to do when they do that, you need to expand the PAC Act, but you need to expand the Supreme Court too.
Yes, and that's major.
But see, think about it. Now, the Supreme Court ain't been expanded, I think, in probably 90-some years.
Probably right, yeah.
90-some years. The country population was not that big when they expanded it. Now the population is outgrowing the Supreme Court. If you file a case trying to get to the Supreme Court, 9 out of 10 times your case not going to be accepted. It's not going to be accepted because they don't have enough judges on the Supreme Court. Yeah. 9 judges is not enough judges for this country right now.
Right.
They need to expand the appellate courts.
Yes.
So they can get all these people. They got to balance it out. So they got a bunch of crackpots that he done appointed on the courts.
Yeah.
One now I'm gonna say that he didn't appoint all the crackpots. George Bush appointed one.
Yes, he appointed a major one.
One that sat so boldly up on the Supreme Court. He done forgot what color he is.
Yeah. That's right. I don't think he ever knew what color he was, to be honest with you.
Yeah. He from Georgia, Tony.
I know it. Yeah.
That's one of our homeboys, Tony.
I know.
I'm saying it's no way possible for him not to know that.
Yeah, only by birth. Only by birth.
He has sold his soul.
Yes.
He's the one that the issue wasn't even in front of the Supreme Court when the Trump case went up there about whether the the Attorney General had the authority to support appoint a special prosecutor, which he, the court has ruled previously that did. But he raised the issue on in that case, saying, well, we don't know whether the Attorney General had the authority. And that signal that sent that signal to that little judge down there in Florida.
Exactly.
Throwing out cases.
Yeah.
Above the law.
Yeah.
See, above the law. See, there are two ways that that you commit a crime: by omission, failing to enforce the law, or commission, where you just go out and stick up. I was on that side. I was on that side, so I know what redemption is. I know what coming to Jesus moment it feels like. So I was just hoping, that's how I'm sold out, Tony. I'm just sold out to Christ. I was hoping that bullet was a real bullet and it was going to give him a coming to Christ moment. Yeah. But it didn't. He just did another act. Yeah. He just gave him another act. Another show. He walking around with a big old patch on his ear and ain't got no stitches in it. Right. Say, listen, man, we got to be able to get our folks talking about these issues. Now, where's Misha at? I mean, she's supposed to be coming up the stairway.
Supposed to be made it up.
Yeah, check and see if she out there, man. Tell her she can come on in because we need her on the show. Yeah. We're talking about those kids that need help now. You don't see her? Yeah, let's go down and then see whether she's at the bottom down there. Come on back. That's her. Oh. Come on, man. We need to.
I didn't want to stop you.
No, you need to come on in. You need to come on in. Come on. We trying to do the show. Yeah. All right, come on. Okay, come on.
Going live now.
Okay, we're already live. That's why we're calling you. One of the things that bothers me is our kids, right? The kids now, we know in the community, in our community, the violence have become such an issue that our children are being traumatized, Tony. Yeah. Before they start school. Yeah. Being traumatized. I mean, I would like to say just the little boys, but it's the little girls too. Yeah. When you are dealing with trauma, you can't learn. Right. You can't learn. You got to get some help with that trauma before you are able to focus and pay attention to things that you need to be paying attention to. So you ain't got no discipline. See, trauma takes away your discipline. Now, I can tell you that because I was traumatized and it took away from my discipline. And I was 21. Well, I was 20, actually 20 years old, and being traumatized at 20. These kids are being traumatized at 3 and 4 years old. We're in a crisis situation with our children having mental problems so complex.
Losing a father, a mother, from the violence.
And the community that live in, they losing mother, fathers, brothers, sisters, them kids being shot. Violence in our community. Yes. We need to be able to address this issue in a way that it makes sense. And the only way I see that it makes sense is starting it in the schools. Getting it in the schools where the kids are and recognizing that, okay, these teachers see these children. They're dealing with these children every day. And they can tell when this child ain't got enough discipline to sit down and learn. They might be acting that out in all kind of ways because every traumatized person operates within their own character and culture. They do what they think is right, and they don't know what is right because nobody's there to help them navigate this system where they can get the counseling that they need to be able to get the discipline. Misha, would you come on up and take a seat in the middle, please? We're talking about your children right now, because trauma has reached the point. I got this little amazing 13-year-old that I love. This little boy so smart. It's amazing, you know. Tony met Money. Tony met Money. Money got some serious problems now. He's smart. He's so smart. He's actually, through his skills in technology, he's worked on a job where he's embezzled money on the job. This 13-year-old little boy. I mean, because he was traumatized before he was 13 now. You know, he's been a problem in school, but he's so smart. It shouldn't be a problem, right? If the school would recognize that this kid got a problem and get him some help. But the schools are, Brian Kemp want to give them guns, want to get a teacher's gun. Yeah. We need to get a teacher's more tools to help with the children.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay, Misha, how you doing, baby?
Good, and you?
Yeah. Now this is Misha Wright, my daughter, my baby.
Yeah.
And she is a school teacher.
Yes, sir.
And not just a school teacher, she's a smart school teacher. And she just came out of Gwinnett to Fulton County school system.
Yes.
And in this, Misha, I'm talking about what you told me. I'll let you talk about what you told me. I don't want to talk about what you told me.
Okay.
And first, introduce yourself again, because.
Okay, let me try to. I wanted to see if I could pull it up real quick. My part of my job description. But yes, so I am Misha Wright. I am a Nam baby, daughter, you know, of Vietnam vet, and yeah, we about to turn this thing out. So. I am a teacher. Yes, coming from one district, I taught students with emotional behavior disorder, and I had a lot of success on the north side because I feel like, you know, I approached it from an unconventional way. I'm not like your average teacher. You know, they might call me the cool teacher, where, you know, you might have that one kid, 13-year-old, who the one teacher might say he's acting out. I look at it as he's been a leader, and I find a way to bring out his strengths, and when we don't have any more behavior challenges at school. So I've had a lot of success for the past 7 years doing that with all ethnicities, white, black, Hispanic. So now the city is starting, they recognize that it's a problem. And shout out to the city of Atlanta, because versus them just trying to label, you know, all of our students
and put them on drugs,
they're now, we're about to make history, and they're implementing a PATH program that's and like I said, I'll pull it, find it in a minute, you know, to the proper name of it, but we're doing a thing to where we're about to cater to the students on a more of a therapeutic level, because we see that, well, they see that now, like I said, Gwinnett has honestly been on it, but now the city of Atlanta, recognize that it's a problem. It's a problem. And they're going to approach it, you know, from a different level and do more social and emotional, you know, and reach, you know, that level of the students to make progress. To, you know, because I feel like in the past, you know, it has been like a pipeline to the penitentiary versus, you know, getting to the root of the issue.
And you know, that's historic, because every year it looks like our children, the discipline that's normally taught in homes, they're not able to teach the children discipline enough to learn, to behave, because they're traumatized.
Correct.
They're traumatized.
Correct. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of kids today have been even more traumatized than honestly I could have managed. You know, imagine. You know, I have my own, you know, struggles, but these kids today have been through things that, you know, I can only pray, pray for them and, ask God to give me the strength, give me the tools to help them through. It's amazing, and definitely coming after the pandemic, that kind of made it even worse. Because, a lot of parents was forced to be teachers. And even though parents should, in my opinion, should be the first teachers, during the pandemic, they were forced to kind of take on the role that they're not signed for. They're not educated for. And honestly, being realistic, I feel like the politics used teachers to kind of open the world back up, and they didn't equip the teachers with the right tools to handle the new kid. So you have a lot of traditional thinkers. So that's why, you might have the Kemp saying, okay, well, teachers need guns. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Because half these teachers got PTSD.
Some of the people.
Keep in mind, they don't drug test teachers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't know what these teachers be on.
You don't know what they bring to school.
I mean, think about really what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't want them to drug test teachers now. Let's not change that.
Right.
But think about what I'm really saying.
Yeah. Yeah,
so no, we don't need somebody who uncontrolled around here walking around with a weapon, because ain't no telling what might go down.
They bringing more violence in the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And is that what is that the bigger agenda? I don't know, but I definitely don't feel that. So shout out to, like I say, the city of Atlanta. Because now, I'm here and we starting this brand new first year, about to kick off when we start a new program.
You're in charge of it.
And I'm in charge of it. Yep. I'm in charge of it. So that's exciting. Got a pay raise to come. I get to be home. I get to be, on the show.
Yes.
We get to turn up, going forward. So it's all good.
Now, what I'm gonna say this. I've been now. This is something that is in the work. We really need more adults in the schools. I'm really trying to get veterans, those that are in control of their own issues, to start doing volunteer work in the school. So I want to throw that out. I want to throw that out because I think that you need that kind of help.
Definitely. And I do. And I do, because once again, it's new, and right now I need all ideas. I need, I need the whole task force. Let's go. Yeah. And that'll be a good look.
Yeah, because see what we're doing with the Sons of Atlanta. We're going to be going into the libraries and community centers in a minute now, because we're finna put the memorial in the park, so that work will be over with. And our job is to take the spirit of service and sense of duty that your dad had, that veterans have, that's just the way we were trained, into our communities to work, to make sure that we address some of the most critical issues of our community. And one of those issues is gun violence. We're serious about that, because we're not against gun owners. Well, most of us are gun owners, right? Mm-hmm. But we're responsible gun owners, and we want those people that responsible gun owners to have their guns. But we got a lot of people that leave their guns around, and their children are killing themselves, are killing each other. Mm-hmm. We want to teach responsible gun ownership, and then we're going to get the war weapons out of the community, these automatic weapons. There is no need for automatic weapons in the community, and veterans are going to stand up and make sure that there are no automatic weapons in the community. Now that means we got to go to the poll like we've never been before, to elect politicians who are not businessmen, but community servants. You got some businessmen that are community servants now. I'm not saying that all businessmen are bad for the community, but because it's not. But I'm talking about somebody gonna go into politics that got a heart for what we're trying to do in the community. And I'm saying that because I want to lift up Michael Julian Bond. for helping us, Tony. You know how Michael has worked with us to do this project. I mean, it caught all kind of political buyback, you know, but he stood and stayed until he got it done. So the Monday, we'll be in the park with the new commissioner and the vendor that gonna build a memorial. That means that we're about to be able to leave the park and go in the community centers and help Misha in the schools.
Yeah,
you know, with our children. Because see, it bothers me when I see these smart little kids taking their smartness and doing dumb stuff. You know, self-destructive stuff.
Definitely.
You know, I don't want to lose these kids, man. These kids are some amazing little kids. I mean, sometimes I sit up and I watch them and I'm saying, man, I wish I was that smart when I was that little. You know, I'd be a genius now. Because they are so smart, but they don't have the discipline or the directions that they need to become productive citizens. Like Misha pointed out there, you know, like there's a pipeline to prison from the 3rd grade on.
Definitely.
Because the children are so traumatized. And that's a lot of the trauma came through the pandemic when, you know, the parents was at home, no money coming in, they had to do the best they can. Lack creates stress.
Yes.
And it created a lot of stress, so a lot of those kids were traumatized during the pandemic.
Yep.
And then a lot of them was traumatized before the pandemic because of domestic violence. Parents that don't know how to get along in front of their children. So they become abusive to the children, verbally abusive. You know, you cussing and hollering at a child, you know, that child is scared. You're going to scare them. You traumatizing them. We got to get the parents to understand why Misha got a job. But her job shouldn't necessarily be about dealing with the emotional problems that she got to deal with in order for these kids to learn. Because they're already smart, but their smartness going in different directions because it's not directed.
Definitely. And I noticed, you know, that's one thing I had a lot of success with while I was in Gwinnett. Once I removed those behaviors, all of my students were geniuses. My principal was scared to put them back in the general population because they all was messed up. You know, it's like, you know, so, you know, that's why I'm like, let me do this work, you know, in my backyard. See, and until we get that done, and we're not going to leave you out there by yourself. That's what I'm saying to you today and saying to all of the community, we got to help teachers, you know, do these kids because, see, we're losing the kids. You know, anytime you got 13-year-olds in shootouts. Right.
Come on, man. You don't need no... Oh, it's veterans talk.
I love this idea. I just love this idea. And one of the things that could help in this situation is you have a young man sitting there. You know, we veterans would be willing to volunteer to be tutors, you know, mentors. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. You know, for these students, because we can talk to them. You know, there's an element, even though it's challenged now, of respect that some of them will provide to these older men. And say, here's an opportunity for us to sit down. When you got a problem with a kid, sometimes it may take an older man to just sit down and sometimes they just want to be listened to.
Correct.
And because most of us have gone through trauma, we know how to deal with it. So now we can use our skills and our experience to share with those kids to understand. Because all they want to be is understood a lot of time. Somebody to listen to them instead of barking at them. Listen to them because they want to contribute, but they don't know how. You know, and so they're facing with a whole lot of that social stuff that's going on, but you know, not having that stable person there. And so, you know, I love your program. I love it. I can see it expanding, especially within the city of Atlanta, because this is something that is needed. And we hear about it all the time on the news, and just like Reverend McGee said, walking around with guns, you know, it's just that is not the solution.
Correct.
You know, that's the wrong way to approach that problem. You know, you need people with skills that can talk to, and sometimes not just talk to, but listen.
Listen to.
Right.
They have things to say. They have points they want to make. They want to, and they want to tell you, well, this is what I'm dealing with, and listen to what I say. You know,
and we don't have time.
You're going to go far,
Hey.
and you have an unlimited supply of experience out there, because we as veterans that have been through traumatic stuff that some of these kids are going to with guns can sit down and talk to them.
Yes.
That's all that, you know, a lot of times, or not just talk to them, sit down and listen to them.
And spend time with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And spend time, quality time with them, and let them know their value.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that we see with the internet, you know, little girls are not understanding their bodies. You know, so
and little boys,
they're not understanding their bodies, and we have gotten them into a culture where if you ain't got things, you really look down on them. You know, and we got to get them out of this what I call idolatry spirit in our community, where you know you got to have a $200 pair of sneakers to go to school.
Yeah,
and you know your mom and daddy can't afford it.
Yeah,
Right.
But you gonna get them. So you're John the game.
Right.
We got to get our children from being caught up in fear. The fear factor is one of the driving forces that make them have guns.
And the thing is, I think, you know, you guys, it's about making them feel confident within themselves. And it's all about sharing your experiences, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Good, bad, and the
Because, you know, I want you guys to know, too, I feel like that will be what will gain the most success. Don't shy away from your situations, because... You know, sharing all of that, even things that you think might be bad, that's what they need to hear, so they can be like, you know,
especially when it's, you know, you've overcome it, and
That
you see
part.
how much time you don't waste.
right.
yes,
You know,
yes,
see,
and lessons are in that, so they know.
They know that there are
start
consequences to their behavior.
And that's the thing is, I feel like, you know, right now they don't have that. We don't have that. They don't have that.
But
people in their lives. But so we about to create
so
that.
we telling you now. You got the veteran group. You got the veteran
Let's
group.
go.
You know,
Let's go.
You got the veteran group to call to the school and tell them, listen. You need to get talk with this little boy or this little girl. We got some veteran women too now. Don't think it's just all. No, we got some folks out there that's ready to stand with you, behind you, because what you're doing, we want you to know you're not alone, because this is what we know is needed in our communities, in our schools. So this is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing. But it's a thing we want you to tune into every Saturday. Now, not just talking about going into the park Monday. Tony, we're having a town hall meeting next Thursday. You know, next Thursday we're having a town hall meeting. And I got a response from Juan.
Councilman Juan?
Yes, I did. He's not coming, but he expressed good wishes, best wishes for our program.
Hey.
Now, you know, that comes, Tony, from us not just attacking him.
Exactly.
You know, just kept inviting him to stuff. Now, now he see that he couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
He's warming up to it. So, you know, I'm expecting him to be in one of the meetings soon.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what this project is a call to unity for veterans and our communities to deal with the most urgent issues in our communities today, because we can. We look at all these things that's going on in our community, and we sometimes, I know a lot of people feel helpless. I know people that say, man, I don't even like to go to the store, because I don't know. I'm seeing these kids with guns. I don't know when they're gonna start popping.
Exactly.
Because I don't know what gonna cause them to pop.
Right.
You know, because they had shootouts in Kroger's parking lot.
Yeah.
Tony, you was finna say something.
No. The only thing I was going to say briefly is talking about that topic. Unfortunately, now when I approach a situation, I approach it believing there's a possibility this person has a gun. And so it all of a sudden it brings me down to a level where I can speak calmly.
Yeah.
Because if I'm up here and they're up here and they've got a gun, you know, it's going to be possibly a deadly situation.
Yeah.
And so it's the way you approach it. And this is something that we can show the kids.
Yes.
You know, when you're faced with a situation, because you know they don't have that
deep.
experience, and so they
deep.
immediately go here.
That's
You
deep.
know, and you got to, you know,
You gotta
Bring it down.
we got to teach those skills that we learn how to de-escalate a
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
Can you talk to our politicians with that same?
Right.
Listen,
Right. Yes.
I mean, because I'm so upset with some of these politicians because they're setting bad examples for our children.
Yeah.
You know, the bully politicians, they're setting bad examples for our children. We already have problems in school with bullying. I mean, that is not a new issue, but it's become an issue where some kids are killing themselves. You know, I mean, we got some major issues with our children, and we know that there are mental issues, and we got to be able to throw all the help we can at teachers. You know, and then one of the things I want to throw at teachers, and we're going to be talking about this with Brian Kemp and the rest of them, they need to pay them more.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly.
You know, they need to pay them more.
Yeah.
You know, we tired of these billionaires getting
Yeah.
all the money
Yeah.
and talking about the government caused inflation. The government don't cause no inflation. Them people at Walmart caused inflation when they raised the prices higher than the income.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
The
We-
rental
no.
prices.
See, one of the things that they need to understand, they didn't overlook the power of veterans too much, too long. We finna show them what we're working with.
Yeah.
Because this is our community, this is our country, and we're not gonna let it go to this violent, crazy stuff that we see politicians bringing into the community. If you ain't got no respect, we don't need you in politics. See, you need to be able to set something. I want when I look at a politician, I want my child to know that person represent them.
Yes.
You know, but then you see these politicians talking crazy. I don't want my child to know that don't represent you. You know, that don't represent you. Now that's an issue that we got to address. And you know what? The media, the standard local media, they got a problem. They working too hard for ratings. So they focus on all the negative stuff that's going on in our community and not news. It's news when something like this is finna happen in Fulton County, right? I want it on the news.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want it on the news so people that got this kind of thinking going on, they can say, hey, what can I do to help?
Yeah.
But it's okay. It may be coming because, like I said, everybody, you know, around the counties keep saying we about to make history because it's the first time.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it might not be saying nothing now, but, you know, by the time I work my magic, September, October, you know, it's going to be something to talk about.
Yeah, it's going to be something to talk about, but we know you need help. This is like you going into a war zone.
Right, that part.
You know, you need to have backup. You need to have people there that are gonna help you fight this war. Because see, these are our children.
Right.
You know, they used to say that it take a village to raise a child. Now, you know, the village is disturbed. You know, we got to get the village together because what the child is experiencing is a problem in the village. You know, they wouldn't be traumatized if the village was trying to raise a child. You know, we got to have a lot more respect for our children, adults. So we got to, you know what? My grandmother used to make me go outside and play when adults was talking.
Yeah.
Yep. She said, don't go outside and play. You child, you grown folks talking. Because they were saying, and probably using some words she didn't want me to use.
Right.
And she probably would whip my butt if I'd have used some of the words they were talking about. So they keep me from hearing those things. They tell me exit, you know, exit. But now, I see mothers talking to children like they're grown.
Yeah.
Or they're friends. This is, you know, and we got to get to the point where when we send our children to school, we know that they are ready to learn. They got the discipline to pay attention. and mind, you know. And that takes a special discipline.
Yeah.
You know, and a child, and if you got chaos going around all that time, and that child, he gonna take that chaos to school.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna be able to learn on the same level that the other children learn on, even though some of them are smarter than the kids that's not causing the problem.
Definitely.
You know, not causing the problem.
Definitely. But
So-
honestly, you know, and I hate to put all this pressure on the teacher, but a good teacher can still make that student thrive regardless of what's going on at home, because I've done it.
Yeah.
I've
And
done
that's
it.
what we got to
So-
do.
Yeah.
We got to get more teachers
2 minutes.
that want to be teachers.
And we want to be a support system.
You got to
We
close.
we want to be a support system for those teachers and
Exactly.
everything, you know, because you all can't do it all.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, you need that support system. When we were growing up, they had that support
They
system
had the
because
support.
they knew they could pick up that phone and call your parents, and the whole situation would be dissolved.
But look, right. So look, it was so funny in the training. I know we got to go.
No, but go ahead.
But yesterday in the training, you know, one of my people who over me were like, yeah, it's so funny, you know, called a parent last year, and she like, what you calling me for? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, honestly, calling a parent really be my last resort.
Yeah.
You know, but that's me. I'm a different kind of teacher.
Right.
But let's go, you know.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
But
one
at
of the
least now you know what you're dealing with that particular student. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Veterans Talk.
Yeah.
You know, Thursday we're meeting at Clubby Town Hall meeting, and share us on Facebook. Share this with your friends. We'll be back next week doing the same thing again.
hey.
Yeah.
Peace. Yeah, that was kind of exciting because you were late. Because you said when you come, listen, let me tell you something. You know, when I was in the military.